Hi everybody, we will see in this tutorial how we can build a simple calculator with Angular 21. So it will be the same calculator than here, but without some functions, but we will keep only the number, the clear button, and division, times, and also subtraction, and also addition. For the rest, it will be not covered in this tutorial, but we will see this functionality. Also, we will use Bootstrap to make a nice design also for the calculator. Okay, we can start. The first thing that you must to know, it's with the angular.dev. You have this nice website. And the first thing that you must do is to install Angular 21. Before to do that, you must install Node.js. So go to the website Node.js, and after you can download Node.js for your operating system. For me, it's a Windows, so I will choose the version for Windows. After when it's done, you can open a terminal and you can put node -- version, and you can see the version that it's installed on your computer. This is the version that I'm using for the tutorial. You need to have Node installed before to install Angular. After when Node is installed, you can install Angular. So you go to the website, and after you can go to the documentation, and you can go to installation. And after, if you see, you have the command to install the Angular CLI. The Angular CLI stands for Command Line Interface. The first thing that you can do is just copy the command, and after you can go to the terminal. And after you can click here, and you can go to modify and paste, and you paste the command. And after you can install. On my machine, it's already installed, so I'm waiting that you have installed that. After when it's installed, you can check the version of the Angular. You can say ng for Angular, and after version of V is the shortcut for version, and you can see after the version that I'm using for Angular CLI. I'm using the 21 and the Node.js is 24. Before to start the project, we must have an editor. So I recommend that you use Visual Studio Code. It's free, and you can find it on code.visualstudio.com. You can download the version, and after you can install, and after you can come back. When it's done, you can go to the terminal and you can create a directory. After when it's done, you can go to the Visual Studio Code. This is the shortcut to launch the Studio Code. If you do that, it will start Visual Studio Code with the actual directory. When you start the Visual Studio Code, you can see the interface. You can go to extension, and after you can search on the marketplace for Angular, and you can install some Angular Essential like this. It's already installed on my machine, but feel free to install that. Maybe this one also you can install, Angular Snippets 2025. Okay, when you go back to the file, you can go to the Explorer here. We can close that, we don't need that, and we can close that. We will open a new terminal, so I go to Terminal, New Terminal. Okay, if we go back to the documentation of Angular, you can see how you can create a new project. And we will do exactly the same. ng new and the name of the project. So I create a new project, I go here, I write ng new and the name of the project. For my project, it will be Ganesha Calculator. But of course, you can call the name that you want. After we press enter, and we have some option. For the CSS style, so it means the style for the HTML, we can use CSS of SAS SCSS. I will use a SAS, but feel free to use what you want, but it will be good. I press enter, I confirm, and we can press enter here, and after it will install all the package and the dependencies. Okay, when it's done, you can see here in the terminal that it's installed with success. After, I can clear the terminal, and also we can check what we have. You see, we have some folder. We have the node module, we have the src for the source file, and it's where we modify the source files. And also you have important file like Angular.json, package.json, and it will be the external library that you can use. It will be also declared in the package.json. We can see if the application can good running, so we will do that. I go in the terminal and we can go to the right directory. I go to this directory, so I press G and tab, and you have the rest of the directory. And after I can do, and we can do npm start. When you do that, there is no magical tricks. It's just running the script, and after it executes for you the command that you can see and just serve behind. So it will start locally a server and you can see your web page. So I will start that, and we can see that on the browser. As you can see, it's running the server, and when it's done, there is two options. You can also click on the URL, of you can write the URL on your favorite web browser. Okay, and you can see the page it's working. So this is a good test here. But don't worry, we will change that. To make a nice look and feel, we will use Bootstrap. As you can see, this is the URL for Bootstrap. And you can go to the documentation to see the nice component that you can use with this library. The library can make a nice look and feel. For example, you can see some component that you can use, like a badge, for example. You have a lot of buttons also that you can use, and we will use some buttons, of course, of this library. But there is a lot of components that you can use with this library. Okay, we will install Bootstrap, so I press plus to have a new terminal. So I write npm I bootstrap like this, and we can install that. After, when it's done, we must declare that in the Angular.json. So we go to this file. We can go to Angular.json, and we can go to the part architect, and we can add here this directory, the node modules, bootstrap, dist, css, and the bootstrap min.css. We will do exactly the same for the script, so I put a comma, and after I will add the script. So as you can see, this is the same directory, but with JS and after bootstrap.bundle.min.js. And after, if you have an exception like me, you can remove this one and this one. There is two brackets that you must remove. And after, we can go to the style. So I go to the src styles. This is the global styling, and you can do an import. Okay, we will just test if everything is okay. So I go to the index page here, and we will add just a button to see if everything is working. How I will do that, I go to the Bootstrap documentation. We can go to the section here, buttons, and we can just copy this one to see if it's working. So I go here and I pass the code, and we can check after if we have the button in blue. And yes, we have the button in blue, so Bootstrap is correctly installed. We don't need that, so I will just remove that. It was just to test if everything was okay. Okay, so far so good. We can start the application. We can go to the directory and we can go to src and in the app. The app component is the main component, and we will create new component inside the app. The first thing, we will create the component calculator. ng g for generate c, and after I will name that calculator. Okay, with the borrow template, it will create the structure that you can see here. So it will generate some files for us. For in the calculator, you can see you have the component created with the HTML, the SCSS, and the TS. So everything is there. After when the component is created, we can test if everything is okay. So I go here and I can remove everything, and we can use app calculator like this. We need also to declare, so I will add in the app the TS, the calculator. So I search for calculator, and you can see it's import here in the component calculator. So we can go here. Okay, it's perfect. So now we can test the application. And if I test the calculator, you can see it's working because we see the text here and it's coming from the new component calculator. The first thing that we can do is to add some buttons on the calculator. So I go to the calculator and we will add an array. To do that, I go here and I will add an array like this. And in the HTML, we will parse the button. So the first thing that we can do is a div to encapsulate all the buttons. And after we will create another div here for the buttons. To display that, I will use the new form for the HTML, so the for with the brackets. And after we will parse the button and we will take only the number. I will remove button here and we will add some styling. So we can go to the blue, so I take this one. Okay. And we can add a style here. So on this div, I will put a class and we will call that calculator. Calculator. Okay. And after we can go to the CSS. I put a point to create the style and we can put a background color. It will be really a light white, and we can put display effects just on this to have all the elements in the correct position here. We can check in the browser and we can see that. So yeah, we have the button, but we need more styling on that. Okay, we will do the part that you can see in the middle here. So we will concentrate on that. So what I will do is just a right click to inspect the element, and we can do the styling in live, and after we will replicate that to the CSS. So I go here, and this div contains all the buttons. The first thing we need to do is to reduce this part. So the max height will be, for example, 10 rm, as you can see. But in fact, we need only less button like here. Okay. We need also a little bit space. So as you can see, there is missing some space. So I will do a gap. So we will add these two elements, flex wrap, and display flex, and the gap, to have a little bit space between the buttons. We need also to increment a little bit the white like this. And we can use also flex flow wrap reverse to reverse the button. So I will copy that, and we can copy that in the CSS here, and we can do another 4 buttons here inside, and we can pass the style. I need also to tell this is the class buttons. And you see in the SCSS it's imbricated, okay? So it's really important. And we can see the result here. The button must be larger, so I put btn LG for large. Here we will change a little bit. We will use the display grid instead of the display flex to have 3 buttons by column. So we will use that instead of the display flex. So in the code here, we can remove all the part of the display flex here, and we can add it here. And we can add display grid. And we can see the result here. We need also to move a little bit the buttons in the correct order. So I will do that here, because actually we have that. So we have the 0 on the first row, but I want the 0 in the first position below. So we can write button first child order 2, and it will rearrange all the elements in the correct place, as you can see here. Okay, all the buttons have the same effect, as you can see here. There is a border radius, and it will be a little bit shrink below. So we will do exactly the same. So I go here, I put button, and I will add a style on the button. So I will put the border radius, and after we have some indication also for to have the aspect like a trapeze below. And it gives this nice effect that you can see here. Okay, to add a new style for the button, we use Bootstrap, but we need to override some font family. So I will put button, and I will change the font family to Arbitron. And now we can see this result. And if you do an inspect of the button, you can see the font family has changed to Arbitrum. So this is perfect. So I will change like this, buttons equal, and after we can change to the value. So we will destructurate the array, and we will integrate the 0, the point equal, and the number after. Also, I need to remove the other two here. We don't need that anymore. And we can check in the browser here what we have. So we will do that differently. We will do that more simply. We will create buttons with the structure that you can see here. And after, in the CSS, we will change grid template colon to repeat 3.1fr. Okay, so we are good for the number and the button. Now it's correctly displayed, but we want to change the design. In fact, we want to have the same color, something more bold also for the font size, and a little bit shadow, as you can see here. So we will do that now. The first thing, I change the background color here to something different, because we don't need the same color here. But we need that only for the primary button. All the buttons have the same aspect, so I will move this code on the style. So I go to the style and we can paste this code. I will remove the font family and I will put here. And we need that only for the button primary. So I will add btn primary, and we can move background color here. Okay, and we can move that. The border radius will be the same, the clip path for all the buttons, and the font family also. And we need, important because we need to override also this class. Okay, if we change the code like this, we have button m.btn primary. We will put the ampersand, and so you will have this result that you can see here. We can add the bold, so the font weight bold, as you can see here, with important because we override the parameter from Bootstrap, and also we can do an hash over. So I will add an hash over like this, and we can change the background color here to something different, like here, more clear. So I will put important to change that also. Okay, we can check, and as you can see, we have this result. We cannot use the box shadow because we are using the clip path. So to do that, we need a solution. So we will do another div to encapsulate the button and to put the shadow on this div. Because as I mentioned, with the clip path, it will clipping also the box shadow. To do that, we go to the calculator. To do that, we will create another div here, and we will put the button inside the div. And I will put a class on that. So we can put shadow button like this. After, we can create a class on that. So I go here and we can create the class. And after, I can put my filter, drop shadow, like this. Okay, we can see the effect, but now it's too big, so we will reduce that. After testing, we can go for 3. As you can see, it's good. So I change the cut to 3. Okay, we can see also it's a little bit large on below, so we will do exactly the same also below. We can change the white for each button, so I go to buttons, button here, and we can change the white to this value. Okay, we will change the font for the button, so I will go to this font, Microma. It seems better. I change 2 parameters. In the button I will remove the font family, and I will move the font family in the calculator in the button section. You can see font family, and I will change to Microma and font weight to bold. And I change the font size to 1.3 rm, like this. We will change some parameter in the style to be really close of the reality, so I will put 95% and 5% to have just 5%. And after, for the buried radius, we can decrease and put important because it must be overwrite. And we can see that. And now, as you can see, it's much closer of the real button here. Just 2 small details. So I go to the style, I go to the calculator, and I will change the padding here. So we can change the padding to 0 and the font size to 2. So we can remove this one. And now we have that. So we can check if it's okay. And it seems really, really good here. We need to add some buttons, so I go to the calculator. And we can add divide. We can add plus. We can add minus. So here we can put times instead. And we can put just here the plus, like this. Now we can change to 4 columns instead of 3 here. It gives the result here, and we will add a clear button just below. To do that, I just duplicate the div here. After the 4, we can add the button, and we can put clear here, and we need a warning button. And we need a danger button here. We can rename that to C for clear. We can change clear, btn clear. And this button, I can go here. This button, so if I go here, has a weight of 100%, like this. So it means I must go here, go on the top. If we have the button and this class, we can override with white 100%, like this. The parent must have a class also, so I will put btn clear parent, like this. And we can go here. I can put btn clear parent, and we have that. So I will add this class only in this case. And we have the result here. So I just remove the space, and we have the result here. As you can see, it's not the same red, so it's more pink, so I will change that also. To do that, I will add BTN danger and I will override the color like here. And you can see the result here. And for the hash over, I will change a little bit the color. And we can see the result here. As you can see. And you can see also the hash over for the other buttons. So it will be almost the same. For the red button, we can go to the calculator and we can change, in the case of the clear, only in this case, we want to change also the clip path. So I will reduce the clip path. And it gives this result. We will change two things. We will change the font and also the mathematical operators. So I go here and we can change for the calculator the font to Roboto. For the rest it's correct. Also for the calculator we will change the sign to divide to this sign, and we will change the multiplication and we will change the times with that. Okay, and we can see the presentation here. It's much better. Okay, we will continue the design of the calculator. I see two things. The C is too big. I have put all the space, but for my opinion, we can keep that small. Also, the plus is a little bit thinner and the minus is longer and the X is a little bit thinner. So we will try to remove the bolt, maybe it's an option, and also we will increase the length for the minus. To do that, I will go here and I will change this line. We can remove, and also for the minus we can prepare something for the minus. So I will put an BTN minus like this display block, and we can apply a transform on scale X like this, and it will be 2 to increase a little bit. After, we can go to the calculator HTML. So we must change the case of the num is. We want to change the case of the num is minus. So what I will do, we will apply a style differently. Okay, we can add to this class a control of the class in the case if it will be num equal to minus, so it means it's minus, we will apply this class btn minus. Okay, and after we can change the C, so we will go for the C. It's the clear instead of white 100%, and this kind of value we can remove, and we can change here and we can remove btn clear. Okay, now we can check. Okay, it's almost good. We just need to apply the white to the minus and not to all the button. I will change that. So what I will do, I will add a span on this, on the num, like this. And we can add the class that we have here just on the span, like this. And normally it will be fixed. It's the reason I put display block because the span by default is not in display block. We need a small adjustment here. We need to remove the ampersand because it's inside the button and not anymore applying the same condition than the button, because you see in the HTML, if you put the class on the button, it's in the same level, but it's not anymore in the same level because we have a span inside. And we can check now, and we can see it's nice here. We can create the component for the display on the LCD, as you can see here. So we go here and we create a new component. So ng g, C for component, so G for generate, and we will call that display LCD. Why I put an uppercase? Because it will be 2 words. So as you can see, the name is separated by a dash. It's exactly what we need. I will add the display LCD to the calculator. To do that, I go here and in the import, I can search display LCD like this. It's nice. And after, on the calculator, we can put up display LCD like this. And we can test if everything is okay. And it's good because we see the text here. We will change that now. So I will create a div here. I put a class with display LCD like this. We can remove this text and we can put a span just for the text here. Okay, it's nice, it's okay. And we will do some styling here. So display LCD. So we need a background and we will put this light green here to be exactly the LCD. And now we need some input because it's a component, so we will create an input for that. We will use the signals from Angular 21 for the input. So it will mean I will pass some value from the parent to the child. In the child, for the display LCD, I will create display and we can put input and we can put some value like 0, for example. I will go here and we can import. Okay. The old method is with the input like this, and you put the name of the value and the type of the value. But now we don't do that anymore. You can put input directly like this with signals. Okay. And now we can do a test. But before to do the test, we need to display this value. So I go here. I can display the value here. And we don't forget to put the parentheses. If we want to change the value, I go to the calculator. So actually it will display 0, as you can see here. But for the test, we will do something else. So here, I've got the app display LCD, so I will create a property here. I will call that my display to not confuse with the other one that we've got in the child. I put signal and we can put 1 just for the test here. I go here and I will change the value. So I do update import from Angular core. We can do 2 methods. One to change the value. So we change the value, so we can set my display like this, and we can do this, my display set, and we can put, for example, 2, and we can reset the value like this. So this my display set, and it will be 0. Okay, we have the component here. So now what we can do, we can go here and we can ask for the value display. So as you can see here, we can pass my display like here. Okay, and now it will change to 1 if we check in the interface. As you can see, it's a 1, so it's perfect. Of course, we will change the 2 method, but it's just for the example here. Okay, we will do some styling. So I go to the calculator. For the calculator, we can put the flex direction to colon. We can put a wide and a padding also. So we can put a padding also. So we will add the padding and the flex direction to the column and also the wide. Okay. After, for the display LCD, we need some adjustment here. So inside we have a span. So I will style the span like this, and we can put like a display block and the text aligned to the right, and we can change some value here. So we can put a width 100% and an 8 here. And we can see we have that. So it begins to a real calculator, like you can see. We will change some value for the display here. So I will choose the font family from Google. It will be more like LCD display, and we can choose this color. We can do some adjustment in the calculator. So I go here and we can remove the max width, and we can put a margin top instead here. And it gives this nice result here. Okay, so far so good. We need a label, so I will put a label and also the small text that you can see here, but we will change that. So we can do that now. So it means in the HTML of the calculator, we can put a header. So I will put like this, and we can just put the name that we want. So it will be Ganesha. Okay, and we are styling that also. For the styling of the logo on the top, we will put the font family Roboto. We can put the text from uppercase, because you know I have written like this, so everything will be in uppercase. Font size, the color, text align to the center, font whiteboard, and a little bit space below, so it will give this appearance. After, we can add a span just below the LCD, and we call that small logo. Okay, in the HTML I've had a small logo with the caption calculator in the span, and after, for the span, we can add this class with the font family. I choose dancing script because it's more cursive. So you can find that on the Google font. And the font size and the color. The color is the same than the header and the margin top. And the result, it gives that. To give more style, we will add some space and a border radius to the calculator, like this, and we will add a shadow also. We will add this kind of shadow with the box shadow. It will give this result. Now we need some adjustment for the LCD. The first thing that we can do is in the display LCD we can add the box shadow with the inset, and it will give this result, as you can see here. We can increase the font size, and we can also remove the height. So as you can see the result here. Okay, it's nice. We just need to put the text a little bit not too close of the border. To do that, the most easy is to put a margin right. So I put a margin right here in the span. And it will give this result. Just to test, I have put a lot of number. As you can see, it overflows the screen. So we must to fix that with the CSS also. So we can go to the display LCD, and here we can add two instructions. The text overflow ellipsis, it means the 3 dots, and overflow hidden, it will be truncate. So it will be not display all the time. So we can do the test again. So it gives that, but maybe we need also a margin left. With the margin left it's much better, and we need also maybe to reduce a little bit the font size. Like this, it seems good. So two things to modify: the font size, the margin right and the margin left here. We can do another test here. I go to the calculator, and we can change the value by default here to see what we've got. And it's good. We can change the name of the page, so I will change to Ganesha calculator like this. Of course we can put an icon, but here it's not the goal. Okay, we can update a little bit the code, so I will put 0 because by default it's 0. And we will change a little bit the method here. So we create two methods: the handle press when you click on the button, and also calculate. Calculate, we will do that later. So as you can see, we have a parameter in the val, and after, if it's equal, we know that we must calculate. If it's not equal, we must add the current value to the value. On the button we can add the click with the handle press and with the num. The value can be a string of number, so we can put 2 parameters here. And we need to cast the value to a string. To do that, we will just cast the value to a string. After we will see if it's equal, we can calculate. In the other case, we will add the value to the current value. So we concatenate string. We can test it. So I press 9, 8, 5, 6. It seems good, but we have an issue with the C, it's not 0, and the plus is display. It's not the goal here. We need to call the method when it's the reset button is click. So I put method here for the click, and we can call the method that we have defined here, the reset display. So I go here, and I can just call that, and we can test it. So for example, I click here, and I press clear, and it's clear. Okay, we can go further. So we need two values store, because we need to calculate two values. So I need one variable to store the first value and another variable to store the second value. So we need to create some variables. So the store value to store the first value, the last operator to store the last operator like the plus, and after the waiting next to prepare the result at the next number. For the result display, we can add these three operations. So the store value set to null, the last operation set to null, and the waiting next to false. So we reset each value here. Set my display is not needed, so we can remove that. We need the method for the calculate. So v1 is the storage value, because this is the first value. After you have the second value, it's what you display on the LCD, and you convert that to a float. And after you take the operation, and following the operation, you do the right operation here, plus, time, minus, and divide also. And after we display again on the LCD. And after we reset some value, but we don't put my display to 0. So this is the reason it's a little bit different than the reset display. We need to change also in the method handle press. So when it's equal, it's okay, it's calculate, but when it's an operator, we must also take in charge that. So we can add the part for the else if. So as you can see, we take the value, if it's one of this sign, plus, minus, x, or divide. And after we store the value and we convert what we have like the number for the display, and we put the operation in last up. So for example, you have a number 3, you press plus, we go here, you convert the 3 to the stored value, and you put the plus in the last operation. And after you see there is a reset because we are waiting the next number. Okay, we can reformat a little bit the code. So I press Ctrl A, right click, and you can go to format document. And now it's better like this. We need to complete the else. So here, instead to have only that, we will do also like this, or this waiting next. And in this case, we will do more operation here. In this case, we don't do a ternary operation here. We will do like a if. So if we have that, we will do something. But we need also bracket here, just on the top, because we have more operation here. And we can do like this. Okay. After, when its current is equals 0 of waiting next, we will do this waiting next, and after we will return value as string, like here. Okay. And in other case, we return current plus value as string, because we are concatenate the stuff, and we don't need the ternary expression here. I can format a little bit the code like this, and that's it. We can test the code, so 9 plus 3 equal 12. We can test with the point, 9.2 plus 0.8 equal 10. Okay, there is just one thing missing. We want to use the keyboard. It will be really handy to use the keyboard, so we will add that with the host listener. So we will add the host listener, so I will write this code so we can add the input here. After, there is some keyboard event, so we catch the event with the event keyboard event, and we are listening. What is this? So we take the property key and we will check which key is it. If it's a plus, we will do exactly what we did for the handle press, but with the plus. And for the rest of operator, you will see minus, time, and divide, and all the operations. So you can see here. And when it's enter or equal, it will be equal. And escape of delete, it will be to reset the display. And backspace is just to go back. It's a nice feature that we can do also. Okay, we can test the code now. So we are here. I press 9 plus 3, enter, equal 12. Divide by 2 equals 6. Nice. I press backspace and it's 0. I press 3 plus 2, enter, equal 5. Last test with the comma, 5.2 plus 0.8, enter, equals 6. So it works perfectly. So with this tutorial, you have seen how you can do a calculator with a nice presentation for the look and feel. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. You can see in the description the code for the GitHub, for the repository, and it will help you also to understand the component and the signals with Angular 21. I hope you have enjoyed this course, and we will see for our next tutorial. Bye!